Hi friends, it's Liz at Premier Yarns. In this video, I'll show you how to make the Tulip Lace stitch pattern for the Tulip Lace Cardi, which is a free Cardi pattern over at premieryarns.com. We'll be using Hipster cotton, 100% cotton yarn in the color Canyon Walls and a 5mm hook. We'll start by making a series of foundation single crochets to create the border of the cardigan. And we're going to do this in a multiple of 6 plus 1, but you'll just make however many the pattern states. So we'll start with a slip knot on the hook and chain up 2, 1 and 2. And then I'm going to insert my hook into the second chain from the hook, yarn over and pull up 1 loop. So I have 2 loops on my hook now. And then I'll yarn over and pull through only the first one to make a chain. So this right here is the first chain that we made, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through those other 2 loops to finish the single crochet. So that's 1 foundation single crochet. Now to make the rest, we're going to work into that chain that we just made. So insert your hook under both loops of that chain that you made, just like that. Yarn over, pull through. Now we have to make another chain. So you're going to yarn over, pull through just that first one to make the chain. And now I have 2 more left on my hook, so yarn over and pull through those last 2. And now I have 2 foundation single crochets. So let's do that again. We're going to go under both loops of the chain that we made. Yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 1 only to make the chain. And then yarn over, pull through both. Another foundation single crochet made. So let's just keep going along like this, making foundation single crochets until we have a multiple of 6 plus 1 for my sample. So now I have a row of 25 foundation single crochets, and we're going to start with the setup row of the Tulip Lace stitch pattern. So I'm just going to chain up 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that counts as my first treble stitch. So I'm going to skip the next 2 foundation single crochets. So skip this one, and we're going to work into this next one. So we're going to work a shell into this next foundation single crochet, and a shell in this pattern is 5 trebles. So to make a treble, we're going to yarn over twice, insert my hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops once, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice, and yarn over, pull through 2 loops 3 times. So it's a very tall stitch, and that is a treble. So let's make 4 more of those. Okay, so now I have a treble, skip 2 stitches, a shell, and then I'm going to skip 2 more stitches, skip, skip, and make another treble right here. And then I'll skip 2 stitches again and make a shell. Skip 2 stitches again and make a treble. And then I'm going to repeat that across the row. So shell, skip 2, treble, skip 2, shell, skip 2, treble until I get to the end. So at the end of the setup row, we have a treble in the beginning of the row and a treble at the end of the row, and in between we have alternating shell, treble, shell, treble. So on to row 1 of the stitch pattern. This was the setup row. You're going to chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and turn your work. Remember that first chain 4 counts as a treble. And now we're going to work 2 more trebles into the same stitch. So yarn over twice, insert my hook into the same place where that chain 4 came from, and make a treble. And then make 1 more. And that's kind of like a half shell. So then we're going to skip 2 trebles, 1, 2, and we're going to make 1 single treble into this third or center treble of the shell in the previous row. So 1 treble, one treble. And then in this treble, so we're going to skip 2, and then in this treble we're going to make a full shell. Yarn over twice. And then I'm just going to make 5 trebles. And then I'm going to skip 2 again and make 1 treble. Skip 2 and make 5 trebles into the single treble from the previous row to make a shell. Skip 2 and make 1 treble in the center of the shell of the previous row, and then you're just going to continue like this all the way across. And then when you get to the end of the row, so we're right here, you want to make a half shell so the last stitch of the row matches the first stitch of the row. So we're going to end with skipping these 2 treble, and then we're going to work 3 trebles in the top of this chain 4 of the previous row, or the turning chain. So we're just going to go right into the top there with 1, 2, and 3 trebles. And for row 2, so this is the foundation row, this is the setup row, this is row 1. Now we're on to row 2, which is very similar to what we did in the first setup row. So we're just going to chain up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our first treble. And then we're just going to skip these 2 trebles and work a shell into this first treble. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 trebles to make our first shell. And then we're going to skip 2 and make a single treble in the next treble, which is the center of the shell. Skip 2 and make a shell in this treble. Skip 2 and make a treble in this stitch and continue on across the row. Like to the end of this row, I just want to have it match the beginning of the row. So I have 1 treble here, and the last stitch is going to be 1 treble into the top of the turning chain. So Just put a treble right in there to end row 2. And now the pattern repeat is, we're just going to repeat the last 2 rows. So we're going to alternate between row 1 and 2 until it gets to the size we want, so you can see how quickly this is going to work up. Once you get the backs and front done, this is just a small sample, but you're going to work across the backs and front like this, and then to separate it for the armholes, you're just going to work half this way, a part of it, up, and then you're going to skip a few. You're going to join your yarn again and work the same stitch pattern this way for the back. You're going to skip a few, join your yarn again, work in the stitch pattern this way for the other front. And then all you have to do is fold these 2 over like this. Sew the top for the shoulder and this top for the shoulder. And then of course your armholes are open. You'll make the sleeves and just sew the sleeves right into the armholes. So you have this opening for your neck, and you just have to sew the top there. That's it. If your pattern doesn't have a lot of neck opening, because it's such a large stitch pattern, some of the sizes don't have a lot of a neck opening, what you can do is just sew across and leave a little bit unsewn. So it's like that, and sew across here and leave a little bit unsewn. So you have an opening. And that is how you make the Tulip Lace Cardi. Thanks for watching.